I never got it. Stopping friendly fraud disputes on digital downloads before they start. The most common chargeback excuse for digital creators is also the easiest one to prevent. I never got it. 3 words, and they're the single most common line in the entire chargeback playbook for digital creators. Not, it was broken. Not, it wasn't what I expected. Just a flat claim that the download never arrived, filed straight with the bank instead of your inbox. It's called friendly fraud because there's often no malice at all. A buyer forgets they bought something, can't find the email, and taps dispute because it's easier than searching their own spam folder. The good news is that this excuse is uniquely preventable. Unlike quality disputes, which are subjective, a never-received claim can be answered with hard, time-stamped proof. If you've built that proof into your delivery process before the dispute is ever filed. Why never received is the default excuse. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. They bought a $19 Notion template 3 weeks ago on impulse, scrolling their phone at 11 p.m. Today they see the charge, don't recognize it at a glance, and have zero memory of downloading anything. Filing a dispute takes 30 seconds inside their banking app. Digging through their inbox for a 3-week-old receipt takes real effort. And most people won't bother if the bank offers a faster shortcut. That's not a character flaw, it's friction, and friction always loses to convenience. Your prevention strategy needs to remove that friction before the bank becomes the easier option. This is also why digital products get hit harder than physical goods. A physical package has a tracking number, a delivery scan, a signature, third-party proof that's hard to argue with. A digital download has none of that, unless the seller builds it in deliberately. That's the gap friendly fraud lives in, and it's the exact gap a well-configured storefront closes. Layer 1. Make the download impossible to miss at the moment of purchase. The first and strongest layer of defense happens before the buyer ever leaves the checkout page. If the only way to get the product is an email that hasn't arrived yet, you've already introduced a gap where doubt can creep in. Delivery needs to happen right there, on screen. The instant payment clears. A visible confirmation with the download link, course access, or meeting details front and center. Not buried behind a check your email message and nothing else. When someone sees their product appear the second they pay, there's no window for "did that even go through?" to take root. The 2-second rule. If a buyer has to wait, refresh, or search for confirmation that their purchase worked, you've created the exact uncertainty that turns into a dispute weeks later. On-screen delivery, the instant payment clears, removes that gap entirely. Layer 2. The email backup that actually gets opened. On-screen delivery covers the moment of purchase, but buyers close tabs and lose browser history constantly, which is why a matching email receipt matters as a second, independent copy of the same proof. This isn't a generic "thank you for your order" note. It needs to contain the download link or access instructions again, with a subject line specific enough to survive a spam folder search later. Think "your product name download is ready" rather than a vague order confirmation. If a buyer forgets, this is the email they'll eventually find, and the record you'll point to if a dispute ever lands. Instant automatic delivery that fires both confirmations at once does double duty. Convenience for the honest buyer, and a documented, time-stamped record for the rare case that turns into a dispute. You're not choosing between good UX and dispute protection. The same mechanism does both jobs. Layer 3. Give buyers a place to find it themselves, without emailing you. Even with perfect delivery, some buyers will still lose the email. That's just email as a medium. The third layer is giving them a self-serve way to recover access. Because a buyer who can solve their own "where's my download" moment in 10 seconds never gets frustrated enough to consider a dispute. This is where a real storefront pulls ahead of ad hoc file sharing links. A proper customer record tied to their purchase means you can point a confused buyer back to their confirmation. or resend it in seconds from your dashboard, instead of scrambling to reconstruct what they even bought. The follow-up message that heads off disputes before they're filed. Here's a tactic most creators skip. A short, low-pressure follow-up sent a day or two after purchase, especially for higher-priced items like courses, bundles, or coaching calls. Something as simple as, "Hey, just checking you were able to access your product, okay? Reply here if not," does two things at once. It catches the small percentage of buyers who genuinely lost the link before they've had time to get frustrated enough to escalate. And it creates another timestamped record showing you proactively confirmed delivery. Powerful evidence if a dispute still lands later. This is exactly the kind of touch a built-in inbox makes realistic to actually run, since replies land in the same place as your sales instead of scattered across DMs and platforms you're not checking daily. A buyer who gets a same-day reply to, "Actually, I can't find it," almost never disputes anything. They just wanted a real answer before their attention moved to their banking app. Show the download link or access details on screen immediately after checkout completes. Send a matching confirmation email with a specific, searchable subject line. Keep a clear customer record so you can resend access in seconds, not minutes. Send a short check-in message 24 to 48 hours after purchase for higher-priced items. Reply to every "Where's my order?" message the same business day, no exceptions. Keep your refund policy visible so a confused buyer has an obvious next step besides their bank. A dispute over a digital download is rarely a fraud problem. It's almost always a findability problem wearing a fraud costume. What to do if a dispute lands anyway? Even with every layer in place, a small number of never received claims will still get filed. Sometimes a genuine forget, sometimes a test to see if it's an easy way to get something free. When it happens, your response is straightforward because you built the proof in advance. Submit the timestamped delivery confirmation, the matching email, and any follow-up thread showing the buyer confirmed access or never responded. Processors weigh clear. Timestamped delivery evidence heavily here, because "never received" is a factual claim that documented delivery directly contradicts, unlike a quality complaint, which is harder to settle either way. Respond before the deadline every time, even for a $15 template, because your long-term dispute rate matters more than any single case. Processors track that ratio closely, and unanswered disputes damage your ability to keep accepting payments more than the individual chargebacks ever do on their own. Frequently asked questions. The bottom line, "I never got it," only works as an excuse when there's genuine uncertainty about whether delivery happened, and that uncertainty is entirely within your control to eliminate. Instant on-screen delivery, a matching email receipt, a recoverable customer record, and a well-timed follow-up together form a paper trail so complete that this excuse rarely survives contact with the evidence. Get the fundamentals right from the start by choosing the right plans and reading the FAQ before you launch, and look at a live example store to see delivery done well. Every hour spent closing this gap now is an hour you won't spend fighting an avoidable dispute later. And store.fan handles the proof automatically so you can focus on making the sale. Key takeaways. "I never received it" is the most common chargeback reason for digital products because it's the easiest one for a buyer to claim without lying outright. Every dispute of this kind is beatable in advance with 3 layers of proof: on-screen delivery, an email receipt, and a visible order download history the buyer can find themselves. A single point of failure, relying only on one email that could land in spam, is the root cause of most avoidable disputes. A short, well-timed follow-up message after purchase catches confused buyers before they ever think about calling their bank. Instant automatic delivery, plus a documented paper trail, is your strongest, cheapest defense against friendly fraud. Start your creator store free at store.fan.